It's time for another What We Wish Our Parents Knew episode. Our question for the week is...
I feel that my parents don't give me enough privacy.
Is that it?
Yes.
I mean, what exactly is the big deal about this privacy thing? Because we keep getting that question all the time. My parents are stalking me. My parents are monitoring me. They should give me my space and all that. Now, I'm aware that there's some teens who listen to this program. So teens, let me tell you, this is one argument you're not going to win anytime soon. Because you see, the truth is what you call an invasion of your privacy and what you call stalking and monitoring, we as parents call it protection and keeping you safe. And as long as you're under our roof, it is our responsibility as parents to do what we must to make sure that you're safe. Now, I do agree that some of us tend to go overboard once in a while, and some of us tend to do things that, are actually downright annoying. I agree. However, you do need to understand where we're coming from. It's from a good place. Having said that, now to the parents. You see, this issue of monitoring and invasion of privacy, underneath it are two key issues. One is the issue of fear, and the second is the issue of trust. Interestingly, these are two ingredients that are essential for us to foster a healthy and strong relationship with our teenagers. For the avoidance of doubt, let me say that this issue of privacy, most of these questions come from teenagers, and a lot of them are under the age of 18. So legally, they're not even considered adults. So yes, it is our responsibility. An 8-year-old and a 9-year-old does not even have mouths to begin to say that we're invading privacy. It doesn't even happen. It doesn't exist. So, like I said, there are two issues, trust and fear. I'll take fear first. What really are we afraid of? I mean, apart from the obvious decay in the society and the fact that a lot of bad things happen, what really are we afraid of? And as I sit down and I think about that question, a couple of things run through my mind. One is we're scared that our children have probably fallen victim to that dreaded disease called negative peer pressure. Whether it's from society or friends that they're hanging out with. So we're afraid. And we either want to protect them so that it doesn't take a much more serious negative toll, or if they haven't, to be sure that they do not fall victims of negative peer pressure. That's one thing we're afraid of. The second thing we're afraid of is we're wondering whether we've done enough to ensure that they're safe. And some of us probably remember the escapades that we got up to, even though our parents raised us and put us on the straight and narrow. But we still got up to a lot of escapades that our parents were totally oblivious to. So fear, we're afraid. We're afraid of the decay in the society. We're afraid of negative peer pressure and its influence on our children. And we're also afraid that even though we may not have done enough to protect them. The second issue is trust. And the truth of the matter is that some of us really do not trust our children. And yes, we do have reasons to be like that sometimes. Sometimes they have broken trust. Sometimes they have acted in ways that we did not expect them to. So we're a bit concerned, and there are trust issues. But let me ask you a question. Rather than reacting to what it is that our children have done, wouldn't it be better to have proactive conversations about issues that we're worried about? For instance, what are we afraid of, or what don't we trust them about? Maybe that they would start abusing substance. Why wait? Why not have a conversation with them about substance abuse, or sex, or pornography? Some of the common issues that we usually would feel the need to stalk, monitor, invade, call it whatever you want to. Why don't we start by having proactive conversations? Because you see, stalking, monitoring, following them all over the place, invading their privacy, at the end of the day is really dealing with the symptoms and not the root cause. So we need to look at that. Having said that, it is our responsibility as parents to ensure that our children are safe. And sometimes that will require us monitoring, stalking, call it whatever you want. There are times we would need to stage that intervention. One of the things that we have to go by is our instincts and our hunches. But you see, we must be honest enough with ourselves to know when we're crossing the line into paranoia, and when we're beginning to get, simply because we heard a story of some child who did XYZ, we begin to see the signs everywhere. Conversation, conversation, conversation is very, very, very important, because then there will be no need for our children. We need to define this issue of privacy, and we need to have that. That is one conversation we should have with our children. When you say you want your privacy, what exactly are you talking about? If you're saying I remain aloof and not ask you questions, that's not going to happen. I want to know who your friends are. I want to know where you are, because it is my responsibility as a parent, especially when you're under my roof. Another area that teenagers complain about their parents stalking them is on social media. Let me say that as a 21st century parent, if you're not on social media, I honestly don't know what you're waiting for. Why? Because that is one arena that we should be parenting our children in. That's where they live. That's where they hang out. That's where most of their friends are. That's where they socialize. That's where they learn. The reason why we're there is because we need to guide them and help them to be responsible digital citizens. We're not getting there because we want to monitor them or invade their privacy, no. But we need to know that that's where they are and parent them there. But however, it's also important that we understand the unwritten rules of engagement in that space. Number one, do not stalk. What does that mean? Don't follow them 24/7. You want to know the moment they post something, you are there shouting, what have you posted? Calm down. Number one. Number two, do not comment on everything they post. Whether you're commenting online or commenting offline, do not. If not, they will block you. They will block you, and you will be following a fake account. And guess what? You won't know the difference. You will think you're following them. They will post some comments and some things for your sake, but they know where they're really hanging out. So learn the rules of engagement. Number three, if you come across anything that they have posted that is inappropriate or potentially dangerous, take the conversation offline immediately. You don't want to spill it for thousands of people. Take it offline and deal with the issue. You see, this issue of privacy invasion, the issue of monitoring and stalking, it's not something that is going to be dealt with anytime soon. Our children just have to live with the fact that we're going to do whatever we must to protect them. But we also need to come to terms with the fact that as our children grow older, we need to begin to let go. We need to allow them to get some level of independence and develop some skills, part of which is decision making, learning to make informed choices. Let's be mindful of the issues that we want to make an issue out of. E.g., your daughter has a quarrel with her best friend. That's not one that you want to start getting into her business. Let her learn conflict resolution. If she comes to you for advice, that's a different story. You know what we say on What We Wish Our Parents Knew? Values, values, values. So until we come your way next time, keep reinforcing values as you parent in this digital age.